Hi, I'm Jackson. Today we're going to be putting on a P3 axle disc guard on my 2024 Beta 300RR. So the first thing we're going to want to do is take off these two bolts here, those two bolts there, and this cap nut right there. And right now we'll do that for you. Okay, so we are going to take off these bolts right here on top of the fork lug. I have a 10mm T-handle. All right, what we're gonna do is take those off. I already have them pre-loosened, so we can just take them right off. I have no problem taking these off with an impact. I would not recommend putting them back on with an impact, as we wanna make sure they're properly torqued. Once we've done that, we can take off this end cap. All right, in the last video, I talked a little bit about this Beta bag that comes with your Beta when you buy it. In that bag is this little tool here. It's got a few different options. It's got a spoke wrench, it's got the rear axle nut, and it's got the front axle cap, as well as a tool here to tighten and loosen your rear spring to adjust your sag. So we're gonna put this on here and just break it off. I already had it pre-loosened. Sorry for my sweat. It's about 100 degrees here in the garage. All right, once we have that off, I'm dropping things. We can come over here and we can just pull this axle right out, and off comes our front tire. Our next step will be taking out this little spacer that goes in between the wheel and the fork lug. This right here, it takes a little convincing to get out of that, because Beta has this little end in there and it has the matching end inside the hub. So once we do that, we can grease up our replacement end for this, and it can go right into that axle, right into that hub. Okay, I did want to show you how this works first. So with this here, there's an inner and an outer. So you can see that moves on there while the tire's not moving. That's how this is going to work on the Beta on the bike while it's riding. So now we'll mount this back up and get it going. All right, so now that we put our axle back in, I haven't put in any of the other bolts yet. That's how it looks. I think that just looks trick right there. Next thing, what we're gonna do is put this cap back on, because we want the forks to be tighter this way than this way right now. And I'll show you guys putting that back on. I just can't get over how this thing looks. I think it looks awesome. It is one of my favorite parts that I have gotten for this Beta so far. I think it looks so cool. So off camera, I put white lithium grease on the axle and in the bearing of the disc guard. We want to make sure we put white lithium grease on every time. We want to make sure everything's greased up nice. It doesn't really matter what type of white lithium grease you have, as long as you have it. I've seen plenty of people have all sorts of things, and what I'm doing right now is I'm just adjusting this guard, because you can adjust it, and then you tighten this up here and then it won't move. So I just adjusted it so it'd have a tighter seam there and not so high up there. The reason why I did that is so I can get to this banjo bolt there and these those bolts there, as well as the bleeder. So next thing, we're gonna put those top bolts back in. All right, so I skipped showing you how to torque them. I have a torque wrench. It goes from 1/2 inch, it goes down to 1/4. Basically, I just tighten those up. One thing I did want to mention, when you are tightening them, just make sure you have a torque wrench that fits in there, because it is a little tight to try to fit in there. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows that if you do purchase a P3 guard, it does kind of hinder that bolt on the inside right there. So you might have to take off this, which is just 3 bolts right there, 3 screws. Our last step will be taking some degreaser, just kind of cleaning it up, get the fingerprints off of it, make it look all pretty. And then you're ready to rip. I just want to say, oh man, I'm sweaty. It is very hot in here today. I just want to say thank you to everyone watching the video so far. I'm not sponsored by any of the people or any of the products that I put on my bike. I put them on because I believe in them. So I just want to say I run the P3 disc guard now and the P3 pipe guard just because it's what I believe in. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, and that's just a disclaimer. So thank you for watching my videos. Bye.